Hey guys, it's Katie. So today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. And let me tell you, I'm really freaking out. I saw this tag circling the booktube land. I saw this video circling around booktube and I thought it would just be kind of fun just to kind of see where I am reading wise this year. I know I'm like super behind because my goal was to read 100 books this year because I tried it last year and failed epically. And it looks like I'm going to fail epically again this year because it's like July and I should have like 50 to 60 books read already, and I have 13. And half of those books are the Walking Dead comics and the other half are audiobooks. I've read 3 physical books this year. So let's just jump right into this. So question number 1 is the best book I've read so far this year. So I have to say the best book was probably Psycho. I can't think of who wrote it right now, but Psycho is probably my favorite book. I listened to it on audiobook while I was driving to and from college because it was just kind of like a 2-hour drive, so I might as well listen to something and get some reading done. And like I've seen the film and I was watching Bates Motel, so I was like on a Psycho kick, so I read that book, or I listened to that book, and I don't know, I thought it was just really interesting because you actually got to see some of Norman's perspective that you don't see in the film. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really exciting. That was probably one of the best films I've seen in a while. Number 2 is the best sequel that I've read this year. So, I chose City of Glass because it's the only sequel I've read this year. Yay! But honestly, I think it was a pretty good book. It took me a while to get through because, like, I just cannot get through these books. I don't know why. They take forever to get through. Like, it takes me forever to get to, like, the halfway point of these books, but then once I'm at, like, the halfway point, like, I just fly through it. So, I mean, honestly, this was a good book. I feel like a lot happened. Like, out of the Mortal Instruments books that I read so far, I want to say this one's probably the best one that I've read. Number 3 is a new release that you want to read. So, I'm going to say Always and Forever Lara Jean. That is the 3rd book in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. I really enjoyed the first book. I haven't read the 2nd book yet, but I want to get the 3rd book and read that as well because I really like enjoyed the first book, so I would like to continue with the rest of the series. Number 4 is a most anticipated new release for the second half of the year. Honestly, I have not been keeping up with the releases. I kind of browsed them, but there's like nothing really coming out that I'm too interested in right now. I've heard a lot of hype for a few books, but like I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm so out of the book universe that I just don't know what's coming out. Number 5 is the biggest disappointment. So, I have to say the biggest disappointment that I've read was probably Everything, Everything. I listened to it on audiobook, and it was good, and then the ending happened, and I just wasn't really a fan of the ending. I feel like it was a cop-out. And I don't know, I didn't enjoy the ending of that book at all, so it kind of just ruined the whole thing for me. Number 6 is The Biggest Surprise. So, I'm gonna say Dracula. I also listened to that on audiobook. I tried reading it like ages ago when like the vampire craze was going on, and I really couldn't get into it. It was so slow and I wasn't like into like all those weird journals and whatnot, and I could not read it. But listening to it on audiobook really helped me focus on it better because I didn't actually have to read all the complex language. It really wasn't that complex, but I don't know, my 15-year-old brain couldn't handle it back then. But, I don't know, reading it was really interesting, and I felt like it was actually a really good book. It had, like, some intense scenes and stuff, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. And that was kind of a shock because I didn't think I'd really like it because I'm not one to read a lot of classic novels, but it was enjoyable. Number 7 is my favorite new author. I have no idea. Like, I haven't read that many new books, I guess. I guess I'm gonna have to go with J. Asher for this one. I read 13 Reasons Why, and I thought this was a really good book. I also really enjoyed the TV show. I liked the way that this book was written. It was like, I think it was very well done with like the contrasting dialogue and everything. And Also his book called What Light. I've been wanting to read that, so I guess out of the books I've read, I'll say he's the favorite author that I've read this year so far, I guess. Number 8 is my newest fictional crush. Ooh. So I haven't read a lot of books with like dreamy fictional men, but out of the books I have read, I'll say Ollie from Everything Everything was probably my favorite male love interest character, I guess. I don't know, I just really liked him. I thought he was like fun and caring, and he had like a good sense of humor and everything. I don't know. I liked him. I didn't really like the book, but I liked that character. Number 9 is my newest favorite character. So I'm gonna have to go with Norman Bates from Psycho. I just think he's such an interesting character, and like he has so much to him, and like he's creepy, but he doesn't know he's creepy. Like, I don't know, I just really like him, but I'm into horror like that, so there's that. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. Honestly, I read 13 Reasons Why and I didn't cry, which I guess that's kind of bad, but whatever. I guess I'm gonna go with The Girl on a Train. I think I teared up a couple times when they like, I don't know, because this book was just honestly super depressing. Like, the main character, she wasn't really likable, and she was just like miserable and sad all the time, and I kind of felt bad for her. And I don't know, it didn't really make me cry, but like it made me sad at some points when they talked about losing babies and things, and I don't know, it was like, it was kind of sad, I guess. A book that made me happy, we're gonna go with City of Glass because I'm happy that I finished it. Yay! Number 12 is your favorite book to film adaptation. We're gonna go with 50 Shades Darker because that's the only one I've seen this year. Has there even been any book to film adaptations this year? Like, I feel like there hasn't been a lot at all, but this is the only one I've seen. And honestly, I thought the film was pretty good for 50 Shades Darker. It was a bit better than the first one. I feel like it had a lot more like content, and it actually felt like a romancy film thing, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Number 13 is your favorite review that you've done this year. I haven't done any reviews this year. Number 14 is the most beautiful book you've bought this year. I haven't bought any books this year. Like, that's a shock because I always buy books. But like, I can't recall buying a single book this year because I've been broke as a joke. So I don't think I've bought any books this year. That's really sad. And finally, number 15 is the books you hope to read by the end of the year. So I really hope to kind of read the Throne of Glass series because I've had these books forever and I've heard great things and I just haven't read them yet. So I really want to read this series. I also want to finish the Mortal Instruments series, hopefully, just so I can finally understand the hype and finish these books. I also kind of want to read more Stephen King. I think I'm going to read that around Halloween time because I really like horror, and I read Carrie and I really enjoyed that book, so I really want to read more of his books. I have a ton of them and I really want to read them, but some of them are pretty beefy. Like, I want to read It, and I want to read The Stand, and I want to try and read The Shining. I didn't really enjoy the film that much. I don't know, I expected it to be scarier because of all the hype, but yeah, I really want to read that. There's just like so many books. Like, I want to read every single book that I own, but that's not going to happen. But yeah, I really want to read like a big chunk. Oh, I also want to read Illuminae because I've had that and I've heard good things. I'd also really like to finish the Shatter Me series. I haven't finished that yet, but yeah, there's a lot of books I want to read. But anyway, that is all for this tag, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like my content, then give this video a thumbs up. And also subscribe down below and hit the bell icon so you guys can be notified every time I upload. So yeah, bye guys.